Hello, my lovelies, I'm back. It has been officially a year and 11 days since I last posted on YouTube, and it's been a crazy year. I am now a year into my graduate program. My family moved. I've grown out my hair because, that's so important. And I've been reflecting a lot on this last year and reflecting a lot on the world it was before, my perceptions of that world, and how my perceptions have changed. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about that and how I'm kind of struggling with this whole concept of trying to get back to normal. Since we're pretty far into the pandemic now and the vaccine rates are starting to go up significantly, everybody's talking about what they want to do once the world returns back to normal. They talk about just having COVID be behind us, and I want more than anything right now to have COVID behind us. But there are some things that I think I'm going to be struggling with for a long time, and one of those things is just being in person again. So this last year as a graduate student, I have been teaching, and as a person who's stuck in this like a little box to teach, I have been able to choose when and how and if I disclose my disability to people. And that experience has been empowering and insightful, as I have to reevaluate the concepts of invisible and visible disabilities. But what's particularly interesting, I think, is just how anxious I've been going back into the world. And I have these interactions with people where they're making the same comments that they did a year and a half ago, but it's affecting me differently. For example, I had to fly recently, and I was flying by myself, and so I was trying to get everything together, and I have a system. It just takes me a little bit, which is why I have to get on the plane first or whatever. And as I'm trying to put my wheelchair together, in order to leave the airport, this lady asks if she can help, and I said, no, I'm good. And she's made this comment about Miss Independent, and am I here alone, and if I have anyone to help me, and I was like, no, I truly am good, I'm fine. And just to hear the words Miss Independent again, just kind of eye-opening of just how much I will have to return to. Another example is recently I went to Walmart a couple of weeks ago to get some books, some cheap books for my grandmother. And while I'm in the book aisle by myself, as my sister's gone off to look at the video games, this man comes up to me and asks, what happened? And I'm like, I've been born this way. Because, that's totally makes sense. But he wasn't wearing a mask, and he did the typical religious babble where he talks about how he wants my name so that God can heal me, and he promised me that he wasn't a witch, and he just went on this big long rant, which normally, I guess I can't say normally anymore because it's been too long, but previously, I just kind of smile and nod and go on my way. But this time, I got a little frustrated. I told him that my body is fearfully and wonderfully made, that God created my body, and that the best thing I can do is radically accept it. And I was having a really rough day that day too, and I was struggling with my body, and I was struggling with just having to look at it and exist. It was a bad pain day, I wasn't feeling well, I was exhausted, and then to have just someone else make commentary. And he got upset with me. And among the whole, you're not accepting the blessing, and how are you ever supposed to heal if you're not accepting the blessing? He said that God had no hand in my creation, that God didn't make me like this, that Satan made me like this, that Satan made my body. Like, damn. Talk about never wanting to go back in public ever again. The thing is I think people never stopped being stupid, but before I could pretend, oh, they're just being, offensive, they don't know better, that it comes from a place of ignorance. But after a year and a little over 11 days of having to watch is 500 plus thousand Americans die. And of those, a couple of them being my family, a couple of them being people I knew, friends with the same disability that I have, and watching people who I loved, people who I respected, people who I thought was going to be on my side, who I grew up with, completely disregard and belittle their deaths. The same people who posted the 94% article about how they were going to just die anyway. That I had to have a conversation with my mom this year about advance directives and wills and what I was going to do if I got denied care because I'm disabled. So when I think about the comments of like Miss Independent, or when I think about the comments of like, oh, God had no hand in your creation, it's hard to maintain optimism that they just need to be educated. It's hard to maintain optimism that they just mean good when our entire world and our systems have taught them that, and taught everybody, that it's okay to make commentary about other people's bodies, that it's okay to make commentary on disabled bodies, because as long as it makes you feel good, as long as that you feel that you've left this conversation being the better person, completely disregarding that it takes an emotional toll. And it's getting to the point where I'm really struggling leaving the house. And I shouldn't leave the house anyway to protect myself, but thinking about the future and when the world returns to normal, when people come back full force into the public, how am I supposed to just kind of brush aside the fact of I don't know how many people would have disregarded my death, that would have just said that I would have died anyway. That the year that I was supposed to start grad school, the year I did start grad school, the year I turned 22, was the same year that a whole bunch of people just like me with hopes and dreams and plans, lives were cut short. And I think this is going to haunt me for a really long time. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person who's experienced this, and I just wanted to give voice to my experience, and I wanted to give voice to potentially other people's experience. And I don't have a solution. And that's one thing that I'm having to face now, is that I don't know if we should have to provide solutions when we critique. That why is it always my burden to say, hey, this is the thing that's wrong with the world and I have no idea how to fix it yet, but it's hurting people, and that's not valid until I provide a solution. Because even when the solution's there, people ignore it or belittle it or say that it's not worth it because it takes too much energy. So here I am, opening myself up to more commentary about my body and my existence, but I'm dedicating this channel to radically accepting my experience, to learning to address the systems that oppress, the systems that I have engaged with, the systems that I have benefited from, the systems that I have been oppressed by, the systems that continue to kill and maim and hurt the people I love, and hurt people in general, and trying to figure out where my silence and my voice fits into all of this. So here's my rededication, and I hope that we'll learn something along the way. But yeah, if you want to be a part of my journey, subscribe, watch, I don't know. But hopefully at some point we'll find some type of meaning and some type of hope again, because I desperately need a little bit of hope in society.